Hey everyone. In this video, we are going to go ahead and start working on doing some of the refactor. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add something to the campground model. And what we're going to do is we are actually going to create a pre-hook that will populate the reviews and the author. And we'll go ahead and type this in. So campground schema dot pre, and what we're going to do is we're going to use a regular expression, and I'll go over this here in just a second. So we're going to populate the reviews, and then we're going to do another populate, and populate the author for the reviews. And then under here, we're going to do this dot populate author. And then just below this, we'll call next. So we save this. So what this is doing is this is running a pre-middleware hook, and anything that starts with find, so find by ID, find one, find, it's going to go ahead and run this populate before it finishes the query. So instead of having a bunch, if you have like a web app that has a bunch of populate calls and everything in it, you can actually run this in the models that you need to populate data from, and it removes a little bit of code, and it just helps keep things a little more centralized. So what we can do is right here, we can remove all that populate call, because that's the only file that's doing any populating. We can save this, and if we go to our browser and we refresh and we go to campgrounds and view the campground, we now have all of our population. It still works. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back into the code editor. We can close these out, and in the helper, I actually created this piece of middleware right here. We can actually just go ahead and cut it out. We can save this, go into middleware, come down here, just paste down to the very end. And you don't have to do module.exports, you can just do exports, but I'm just keeping it consistent with this. And then up at the top, because we don't have user, we need to go ahead and get it in. And then in the route file for users, we can come up here, we can get rid of this, and then inside of the curly braces, we'll do check if not verified. And if we scroll down to where we're looking for this, all we have to do is just get rid of helpers. So we just went ahead and moved that into middleware, and we'll use the helper file for other smaller things, but anything middleware wise that's going to be used in the routes and everything, I'm just going to move it and put it back into here. So the next thing we're going to do is in app.js, we've got all of the different URLs for helmet. So I'm actually going to cut these out. And in the utils folder, I'm going to create a file called course helper. I'm going to enter down a few lines. I'm going to put this in. And what we'll do up here, what I can do is I can just do this right here. So copy this for the script source. Then we make this a function. And then we're just going to return an array. And inside of the array, we'll do that. So we'll delete this. We actually come up a couple lines. So exports, and then we're going to do the same thing here. So basically all we're doing is we're just going to turn these into functions. It's easy enough. And what I might do is just, let's see. Down here, font source URLs, I'll go ahead and do that even though we're not really using it. Actually, I can just leave that one like like that. Set it like that. Okay, so now in app.js we can go up to the top and let's see. We can just come down here and do it. So we're going to destructure it. And so in here we'll do script source URLs, style source URLs, connect source, what else did I have in here? And font source. So we don't have all of them obviously, but what we're going to do is where we're calling these, I'm bouncing back and forth between a Windows computer and a Mac, so the mouse, every time I switch over, it's one's going one way, one's going the other. So connect source, we'll just turn it into a function like that. Same thing with script source, same thing with style source, And font source, we'll do the same thing with it. So technically we could do image source. We could do the exact same thing with it, turn this into an array. So actually we'll go ahead and do that. So anything that is not self blob data, we'll just take these right here, and then we'll do dot dot dot, turn that into a function. It's not going to work. Just going to duplicate that. And then come back up here to the top. And it's connected. So we don't have any errors. And if we wanted to, we could open up Firefox or Chrome, whatever browser you're using. Wait for it to load up. Let me drag it over here so you guys can see it. Go to campgrounds. And everything still works. We're still getting our images from Cloudinary. And if we go to inspect, we're not getting any errors that are calling anything as far as like CORS errors, something's being blocked because of a script source or anything like that. So that works. That's it for this video. I'm going to do a couple more refactor videos throughout, but I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Right now, I've been working on setting up Google OAuth, and I've almost got that one done. And I've been working on another project where I've been playing around with Stripe and getting it set up and handling subscriptions versus a payment system versus building out products. And Stripe has fantastic documentation. It's a very complex beast depending on how you want to build it out. So there's a few different things that I was thinking about doing with this. I don't want to get too in depth in it because I really don't feel like reinventing a booking system. But my initial thought was to create a specific route for campground owners to be able to register. Once they register, they get redirected to a page. They buy a subscription to be able to publish campgrounds. And when they create a campground, it'll automatically create a product in Stripe, and then your average end user that logs in can actually reserve the campground for a specific set of days based off of the price. Again, I'm not going to get too complex or make this really complex because, like I said, a reservation system or booking system is a nightmare. There might be some third-party modules that help with some of it, but it's going to be a nightmare if I try to do all that. But basically, whatever the price is, so if it's $25 a night or whatever, and someone buys it for 7 days, then it's going to reserve out, from they pick a date, and then they pick a check-in and check-out date. The next step would be to use some sort of a calendar, whether it's jQuery or whatever, and loop over all of the reservations and anything that's taken, whether it's CSS or however the calendar has to be blocked out. So it'll be something simple. So you can't set prices per day or anything like that. It's going to be a lot of code, a lot of moving parts. But I know that was something that was requested, and so yeah, between Google OAuth and Stripe, the next few weeks are going to be pretty busy. So bear with me. I know I'm not posting as many videos. I kind of recorded a bunch of videos all at one time and just had them set to come out, and life's got a little hectic, and I've been really busy with work and everything, so I haven't had as much time to record anything. But if you guys have made it all the way through this video, you've heard the idea about Stripe. If you guys have any suggestions or if you guys have any features, by all means, let me know. Um, I don't know what content to produce. I mean, I've looked on the Q&A and I've seen people ask questions about certain things or requesting features, something like that. And I'm kind of cherry picking those, the ones that make the most sense. Um, some of this stuff is easily researchable. You guys could figure it out. But some of the stuff like Stripe and Google OAuth is pretty, it's not difficult, but it can be complex. So I'm picking the ones that are actually challenging and doing some of those and everything. But again, if you guys have any suggestions, if you guys have any feedback, if there's specific features that you'd like to see or anything like that, by all means, leave me a comment. I typically check a few times a week to see if anybody's left a comment or anything, and try to respond back and stay active with you guys. So again, that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.